People love Ghostface. People also love tier list rankings. So today, I thought we would rank all of Ghostface's Dead by Daylight in-game cosmetics. And I just want to go ahead and say it, I don't think that there were enough masks to warrant their own video on the topic, so everything's kind of going to be blended together, and you guys are just going to have to deal with it. But today's tiers are peak, pretty good, decent, mid, and trash. Because believe it or not, Ghostface does have a few cosmetics that are pretty fucking trash. Starting off, we have the Bleeding Ghostface mask. I personally think that this one's peak. I think it's really cute, and it reminds me of like elementary school, the kind of bleeding Ghostface mask that kids would wear. The ones that had the pump in them where you would squeeze it and the blood would start dripping. I think it was a pretty good addition to the game. And I personally run it a shit ton. Next up, we have the What's Up mask. I would also put this in peak, arguably above the bleeding one. And that's because this is the mask from Scary Movie. So this actually isn't from a Scream franchise. I think that if we were to only get the Scream license in Dead by Daylight, we wouldn't have had this mask. So I'm kind of a little bit happy. It's a little bittersweet, right? But I'm kind of happy that things turned out that way because we were able to get this sick ass mask. Now the Scarecrow mask, I'm gonna put in pretty good. It's pretty good. On its own, it's decent, but it combos really well with another cosmetic piece that we'll talk about later in the video. And I don't plan to talk about too many like mix and matching cosmetic outfits, but for this one, it's very much necessary. Now the zombie mask, I think is gonna be our first trash of the video. I mean, it's not too different from the normal Ghostface mask. Granted, it's something you got, I believe, for free in the tomb, but it's just not that great. I don't see any situation where you're running this over even the default mask. You know what I mean? And then the cat Ghostface mask, I guess decent. I just think that there's so much more that they could have done with it. I think even if they would have made it white, it would have been better, right? I think if they really wanted it to sell, if they would have made it like a pastel pink, if they would have had like a soft pink Ghostface mask, that shit would have sold like hotcakes. Everyone would have bought it. But they decided to go gold. I don't know why. It's just so random to me. It doesn't even look that great to me personally. I think the shape is okay. I think the ears is okay, but just the fact that the mask is gold is a little weird. And then now we're getting into the full outfit. So that's all the masks out of the way. Let's get into the full outfits now. So for the normal Ghostface, I think we have to put it in pretty good. It talks about Ghostface a lot. It talks a lot about his personality, about like the tassels and his loyalness to the entity. So it's not a bad cosmetic. I just think that there are better ones on this list. But I think its spot is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Bleeding Ghostface, bottom of peak. I really like the bloody knife. I like all the bloody weapons, to be honest. I love seeing the blood drip off the weapons. But something about his soaked in blood, black trench coat, it's just sick. And for some reason, I find that he blends in easier on most maps than this cosmetic. He's fucking scary to see a P6 Ghostface around the corner stalking you. So if you guys have ever seen the bleeding Ghostface behind you, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, next up, we have the two Ghostface outfits that are kind of like red and blue, but they're not fully red or blue. They're both kind of trash in my opinion. I would lump them in together. The red one may be a little bit better because you can pair it with the Ghostface devil mask, but still they're not the best. It's just too kind of mid, kind of like, oh, I had to make these cosmetics so people had something to buy on release, but I don't really see them working anyway at all. The blue one's a little bit more stealthy and the red one's better with cosmetics, but it's just not. I don't like it. Now, the classic Ghostface, this has to go to the top of peak. I can't see anyone disputing the classic Ghostface outfit not being in peak. I love seeing the triangle pattern on the arms or the bottom of the cloak. I love the bright white classic mask, the solid black cloak. The normal default Ghostface outfit is kind of like a grayish black, but this is just like pure dark black. Super easy to blend in, especially depending on whether or not you pair it with other masks. But I think it's a really sick outfit. Now we have the chrome Ghostface one. I think it's pretty good. I kind of like the bulkier aesthetic, and I think the chrome mask is kind of cool. I think it's called like Monochromaniac, and I like that it has the black and white aspects to it. Obviously, black and white is super huge to Ghostface's character. I personally just think it's an upgrade to the normal Ghostface outfit, but I think they could have went a little softer on the chrome. I think if they would have made it straight up black and white, it would have been better than the default. And I actually would have wanted this to be the default, right? Like, I think this is close enough to this one. It really strikes me as an early draft of the what we have in today as the Ghostface default outfit. Now, the red one, I'm gonna say mid. I'm not a huge fan of this cosmetic. I think the mask is really cool, and I think the mask kind of goes well with a lot of other outfits. But personally, the red cloak, I think anything that kind of counteracts your stealth, it's just not really worth running. And red's not too bad, but I'm not the biggest fan of it. It's just, It doesn't really align with his character in my head. I just don't see myself running it. I don't even think I bought the cosmetic. The Ice Ghostface, probably at the bottom of decent. It's okay. I mean, it's kind of cool. I appreciate that they went for a different take. You know, he's not using a knife. He's using like an icicle. That's pretty cool in my opinion. But at the same time, it's like, you're not as stealthy, right? You're bright fucking blue. You're giant ice man. It's just, I don't know. I think they could have maybe done better. I like the spikes in him, and I like how he's kind of all fucked up. Me personally, I'm not running it. The Devil Ghostface, I'm probably putting at the top of pretty good. I don't like the giant triangle in the middle of his chest, but that's probably like my only gripe with it, right? I think the mask is really sick. Maybe could have gone with a darker shade of red. The outfit's cool too. It's kind of like a more like modern, kind of like grungy take on it just looks like the normal one wearing a fucking trash bag, to be honest, but in a good way. It looks good. I just don't like the giant logo it has on it, because now it's like, is he a fucking superhero? Like, what are they trying to do with that? And it only like, it makes him stand out even more. You know what I mean? If you see him across the map and you see a giant triangle logo on his back, okay, there's Ghostface. I'm good now. I don't know, not the greatest fan of this skin, but I like it. I can appreciate the mask. The Blighted Ghostface, I'll put it at the top of decent. It's okay. I usually love the Blighted skins, but this one is just a little bit grotesque. I like how the mask is kind of like being melted onto his skin. It's kind of becoming a part of him. But I just think there's so many other directions they could have gone with this. I think it would have been cool to give him like a more like mystical element, like turning him more into like a ghost, maybe having like an orange shroud around him. Like, you know what I mean? Like kind of leaning more into that supernatural element rather than the body horror we already get with every other killer. It would have been really cool too if they did like a Scream licensed Ghostface. If they would have had all the other Ghostfaces kind of melded together, similar to the Legion skin. Like you would have had like Billy and Roman and, you know, Mickey's faces all melded together. That would have been sick as hell. But I think it's not horrible. It just stands out a lot too with the bright orange colors. And I think it could have been done a little bit better. Not the direction I would have gone. We already have so much body horror in the game. But pretty cool. And then we have the Scarecrow outfit, which I'm going to put probably pretty good. Probably even above the classic. The mask is cool. I think it's just also like, okay, we already have a crow mask, so why do we need another one? But I like the eyes on this crow mask. They're a little bit different from the eyes of every other mask. I don't know if you can tell. Shape-wise, and then they're colored in orange, so they're kind of cool. They're kind of different. It's a unique mask, but personally, I really like the actual outfit itself. The brown Scarecrow outfit I find blends in super well on a lot of maps, and if you pair it with the one right next to it, the Scarecrow mask, which I'll probably put down here now. But if you pair it with the Scarecrow mask and the brown cosmetic, it's really good, right? If you go somewhere like Coldwind, they are not seeing you. You go most maps, brown blends in pretty well. It's usually a black or brown angle. If you go obviously red, blue, orange, you're going to be seen pretty easily. But I think if you go with like the classic or the default or the Scarecrow, you're pretty well blended in. And then we have the Deep Rift Ghostface cosmetic. So this is the Deep Rift kind of Scarecrow outfit. And honestly, I don't have it, so I think that contributes to this a lot. But I'm putting it at the bottom of peak. I think that this was a very cool cosmetic, the Scarecrow outfit. I really like the way that the outfit's actually like stylized and designed. And now they're making it black, right? So now they've darkened it, which I like a lot. And I think that the blue is like just the right amount to be flashy, but also contribute to the stealth, right? He's not entirely blue. It's not like the ice one where it's a super bright blue that's going to make you stand out all over. And it's not like the default blue cosmetic where it's kind of too similar to the default for me to warrant putting it any higher. This one has its own style. It has its own shade of blue. The mask is sick, although I would probably run a different mask on it. I just really like it. I don't know what it is about it. It just has this kind of like P100 Ghostface vibe. I don't know. I really like it. You guys might disagree. Let me know if you guys disagree in the comments with any of these takes. And then lastly, we have the Anniversary outfit, which I'm not going to lie, I'm putting it at the top of decent. I'm not the biggest fan of it. And there's one main reason why I'm not. It's just because of his neck. Other masks don't go too well with this outfit either, and the knife is really good, but the way he looks like a fucking turtle. Like he looks like he can't turn his head. I'd recommend like looking at some gameplay of it in game. It's just so awkward to look at, and I kind of don't like it. It's like, how is he gonna be leaning and stalking and maneuvering when he's like kind of held down? It looks like he's like stationary with his head. I don't know. It's just kind of weird looking. But that's my ranking of the Ghostface cosmetics. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments. I don't think I would reorganize it at all. I think this is pretty fair for me. Looks good to me. Let me know what you guys think. As always, take care. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I love you guys. Peace out.